are you there? Where are you? Reply to me!
Oh, Stephanie. Long time no see.
Never mind a long time no see. What do you think you're doing turning down my wedding invitation? You mean you're not coming?
Huh?
I invited you to my lavish wedding because I felt bad for you being a pitiful reject with no friends. And you had the nerve to send it back with the not attending box ticked? What the hell do you think you're doing?
I'm busy that day.
It's my wedding day, for heaven's sake. You should be dropping all your plans and rushing at the chance to give me and my fiance your blessing. Isn't that what best friends are for?
Best friends? Who?
Me and you, obviously. Did you forget all about how close we were in college? There was you living out your days on campus in introverted solitude with a life less exciting than a pile of rocks. When I, the queen of all extroverts, unparalleled in beauty and popularity, was so kind to shine a beam of hope on your tragic existence and became your friend.
You mean you just wanted me to hang out with you to make yourself look better? That hardly qualifies us as best friends. If anything, it just makes you a selfish narcissist. Anyway, Taylor is my best friend.
Huh? Taylor? You mean that filthy peasant with no parents who's so poor she couldn't even afford to buy lunch? That Taylor?
I'd prefer if you didn't talk about my friend that way.
Isn't it the truth, though, lol? Anyway, enough of that. Let's get to business. I want to give you the maid of honor speech at my wedding.
What?
Plus, you can sing and play piano, right? I heard you were pretty good. I want you to perform for everyone after your speech.
No, I made it very clear when I returned the invitation that I won't be attending. My schedule's full up.
Well, you should make room in it to attend your best friend's wedding.
Besides, why would you send me the invitation with less than a month to go until the ceremony? Even if I wanted to go, it'd be impossible on the timescale.
Well, make it possible then.
No, it's impossible because I have important business on that day I absolutely cannot get out of.
What? You mean there's something more important than my wedding?
That's exactly what I mean.
Go on then, what is it?
My boss's wedding.
Seriously? You'd miss your best friend's wedding to go to some random guy from work's wedding instead?
He's my boss, not some rando. And actually, he's a great guy who's always been there for me. I think it makes perfect sense to prioritize him over you.
Are you saying I wasn't there for you back in college? You probably wouldn't have even made it through without me.
The only thing I remember are your weird attempts to one-up me and put me down in front of everyone.
No.
Anyway, I can't help but feel that the only reason you sent me an invitation is because everyone else declined you. So you sent me one in an attempt to bolster the number, so that people who do attend don't realize everyone actually hates you. Sound accurate?
It's not like that at all.
I hit the bullseye, didn't I? I mean, come on, really? Best friends? Don't make me laugh. I'm done with this conversation. Good luck with your wedding.
I'm sorry to contact you out of the blue like this. Am I right in thinking this is Alice's number?
Maybe it is, but who's this?
It's a pleasure to meet you. My name's Richard Bigglesworth. I'm your best friend Stephanie's fiancé. I apologize again for contacting you so suddenly, but I found your number on Steph's phone.
I see. So, what could Stephanie's fiancé possibly want with me?
I'll just come straight out with it. Why don't you attend our wedding?
Huh?
Surely you should be there to give your best friend your blessing on the most important day of her life. She broke down in tears. She invited you because she wanted her closest friend to be there on the happiest day of her life. It's a day that only comes around once, you know. But she said you suddenly returned the invite with not attending checked.
I see. Like I told Stephanie, I have an urgent engagement on that day, so I can't come.
Yes, and I'm telling you that the way you've gone about this is just wrong. You've been downright inconsiderate and disrespectful, I tell you. Despite the fact you returned the invitation agreeing to give a speech and piano performance a whole 3 months ago. You have the nerve to pull out now all of a sudden, with less than a month left until the wedding day.
What? The invitation only came last week.
Excuse me?
Plus, I don't know if it was because she didn't know my address, but it was sent to my parents' house of all places. I immediately sent it back, making my intention not to attend crystal clear. And then Stephanie messaged me 2 days ago. She demanded that I attend no matter what, seemingly having no concern whatsoever for the fact that I already have plans of my own. That was also the first I'd heard of the speech and piano performance. Obviously, I told her that it was impossible to.
Wait, what? None of this makes sense.
It's exactly like I said. I didn't even know she was getting married until the invitation showed up at my parents' place last week.
Say what now? To think you call yourself a best friend. That's abhorrent.
Listen, Richard, you don't seem like a bad guy, so I'm going to explain this to you nicely. But me and Stephanie haven't spoke since college. It's been over 7 years. 7 years without so much as a single message exchanged between us. I haven't seen from her, heard from her, or even about her in all that time. Can you really call us best friends?
What? None of this adds up.
What's more, if I had to say one way or the other, far from being friends, I'd say we didn't actually get on that well at all.
Really? Forgive me for asking you this, but do you think there's any chance her sending you an invitation might have something to do with the fact so many people, particularly people she listed as close friends, are turning down the invites?
Are there really that many?
About 90% of the invites she sent were declined.
90%? Jeez. Does that mean, while being fully aware of the situation, you messaged me without harboring a single doubt as to why no one wants to associate with her?
You were listed number 1 as her closest friend, but she did say there was a chance you may have betrayed her.
Betrayed her? How?
Forgive me for dragging up the past here, Alice, but she told me the story of the time you and her were fighting over a certain boy in college. Eventually, that boy chose her over you, and they started dating. She explained how the two of you made peace a few days later, but she did say there was a hostile atmosphere for a little while because you were jealous. I did think that you holding a grudge against her for what happened back then made sense as a potential explanation for you not coming to the wedding.
If you want to hear my side of the story, it sounds like she's playing fast and loose with the facts of what actually happened to suit her ends and manipulate you.
I see. What exactly was Steph like during college?
I'd appreciate it if you went down that rabbit hole yourself. I hope you don't think I'm being rude, but I have no intention of talking at length about my personal affairs with someone I don't know.
I see. I understand. Sorry again for the inconvenience, and thank you for your time.
Alice, you scheming witch! What the hell did you say to him?
What do you want?
My fiancé broke off the engagement. You're behind this somehow. I know it. What did you do?
I see. Well, I wouldn't exactly go as far as saying I did something.
Why did he dump me then? Explain now! Your name was mentioned, Alice. I know you were involved. Don't think you're getting away with this.
Listen, Steph. Richard's the one who contacted me.
What? Why?
He messaged me out of the blue and started giving me a hard time about not being able to attend the wedding. All I did was explain my reasons why. I also set him straight on the facts that me and you aren't best friends, or even regular friends, or acquaintances, and that, in fact, I've never liked you. After that, I politely requested he did his own research and leave me alone.
What have you done? This is awful! Do you have any idea how much damage you've caused? You could have told a couple of white lies for me. What would have been the harm? Aren't we friends?
No. Do you have any idea how many people you made cry in my immediate surroundings back then?
What?
As far as I know, and I suspect there are probably more, firstly, there's my best friend Taylor, my little sister, 2 of my classmates from college, plus 1 freshman and 1 senior, and finally me. That makes a grand total of 7. Every single one of us had our boyfriends stolen by you. When you were on a particularly rotten streak, you had 2 or 3 guys on the go simultaneously. Not only that, you strutted around campus with your head held high, boasting of your accomplishments to anyone who'd listen, and relentlessly mocking your victims. What was your favorite line again? Oh yeah,
This is just how life is when you're as beautiful as me.
the fact that you've just had your engagement broken off 7 years later suggests to me that you probably haven't changed your ways since becoming an adult and entering society.
It's not my fault guys want me. If anything, it's their fault for not leaving me alone.
Were you born completely devoid of reason?
What?
I remember how you used to strut around flirting with other guys even when you knew they have girlfriends. Or how you'd welcome the advances of other guys even when you already had a boyfriend or boyfriends. The worst part was, you actually seemed to take pleasure in wrecking other couples' relationships. You seem to be lacking the bare minimum of reason required to exist in human society, Stephanie.
Don't be so mean.
I'm gonna go out on a limb and guess that you totally deserve to get dumped by your fiancé and have the engagement broken off on this occasion. At the very least, you should use this as an opportunity to reflect on your life up until now and ask yourself why it might be that people consistently seem to want nothing to do with you. Goodbye. Richard messaged me again a couple of days later, apologizing profusely for the hassle his ex-fiancée had caused me. Our messages made him suspect her, and as well as keeping a close eye on her day-to-day movements, he conducted a thorough background check. When he did, he stumbled on an intricate web of lies involving several affairs, some of which he's still in the process of exposing. As things stand, his investigations have unearthed a whopping 3 secret lovers. On top of breaking the engagement, he not only took Stephanie to court for compensation, but all 3 of her lovers too. Obviously, the compensation also included the cost of the now-cancelled wedding ceremony and honeymoon. It turns out their own wedding was intended to be quite the extravagant affair, the total cost amounting to somewhere in the region of an unbelievable $70,000, including the damages owed for the 3 affairs. She now owes over $76,000, and not being partially well off financially, is now desperately trying to claw her way out of self-induced debt hell. I don't know whether it's because she's super poor now, but my best friend Taylor said she saw her disappearing into a crowd of people the other day, wearing ripped clothes that looked like they hadn't been washed in weeks, and clutching some half-eaten bread crust like her life depended on it.